Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Tuplex. Let's continue our Factorio tutorial. Today we're going to be making the shopping mall or the make everything or the supplies depot, whatever you want to call it. What we're going to do is set up a large area that makes the supplies that we need to build the rest of the base. So let's get started with that. To begin with, I'm going to pick up this temporary furnace making setup. We will rebuild that later, but it's going to be in a different place. So I'm going to start by picking all this up. And while we're doing that, we should pick some more research since our research ended. I'm going to skip all the ammo stuff. I want to do mining productivity. As soon as this comes up, I try to do the research on it. The reason that this is important, what this does is it gives a 2% productivity bonus on your mining drills. So basically you'll get 2% more ore for every cycle for the first level. It also speeds up the drills. And the earlier in the game you get this, the more benefit you're going to get from it over the course of the game, obviously. So I try to do mining productivity. I do all the levels that I can as soon as they're available. So right now we can see that levels 1 to 3 are available with red and green science packs. So I'm going to go ahead and do those one after another. To get to the next level, we need blue science packs and then purple and yellow and so forth. But for now, we can do 1 to 3. So I'm going to do those as soon as possible. Having that productivity allows us to not have to set up new mining patches quite so often. Okay, so for the supplies area, again, I'm going to set out my little spacer here. So first machine will go right there. And actually, in this case, let me make, I need to make a bunch of assembly machines. We're going to need a lot of those. So let me start handcrafting those. Actually, in this case, I am going to even give myself even more room for the fact that we're going to be running several belts up the side. All right, so in the make everything area, we're going to be producing transport belts of all sorts. You can see that these take plates and gears, plates and transport belts, plates, belts, electronic circuits. We're going to be making inserters, which take circuits, gears, and plates. We're going to be making several varieties of those. I like to make power poles, assembly machines, mining drills, etc. So you can see that all of those things require gears. So the first thing that we do here is make a bunch of gears and get those run down some belts. So what we'll do is we're going to set up 3 rows of machines, or 3 columns of machines that are each separated by 3 spaces. And what you can do is just shift click to ghost one. That'll help you space them out. And then we'll put 2 more on top of those, and then leave a space of 3, and then another set. And these are all going to be making gears. Now, I know this seems like a lot of gears, but believe me, we're going to make use of them. Let me grab some more iron plate. Again, to pick up the plate, we just run down the line, holding the F key. Okay, and then coming up both sides of this, we're going to have a belt of iron plate, and that's going to continue up the column. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to bring some in on the bottom. And this needs to go all the way over till it just extends over the edge of these center machines. And then we'll put a splitter there. And then we do the same here. And this way, every machine has access to iron plates. Like so. Now, where do these gears go? Well, these are going to come out in the center. Actually, let me space those out like that. All right, so we're going to put 2 belts running up the middle that are going to contain gears. So as you can see, as these columns extend upward, we're going to have plates, and we're going to have gears, and plates. So that'll give us ready access to those items that are very important for this build. Okay, and then what we do is we put some fast inserters going in. Now the ones in the center, we pull from both sides just to help keep things balanced. Okay, and then the outputs, actually let's put those in the middle. The outputs go like this. Okay, so level 1 was done. Next is level 2. That's 200 of each science pack. Each level of mining productivity requires more and more science packs. So as we get farther into the game, it's going to take longer and longer to do that. I'm going to craft some medium electric poles. And I'm going to start using those instead of the wooden electric poles. All right, so I'm just going to replace those on my hotbar. The medium electric poles cover a larger area, which is why I prefer to use those in this case. All right, so we'll put those, like that here on these corners. And actually, I think this can go, let's put those poles up there. Looks like that's got everything covered. All right, and then I'm going to, along the bottom here, I'm going to start using the big electric poles. And those are useful not because they cover a large area, but because they can cover a long distance. All right, so we can actually start to replace these along the bottom with these large poles. Put one there. And here I might not go the full distance just because I need to hook up with stuff that we already have in place. That's okay. There. All right, and then let's throw a few lights in here. And we'll put a couple lights up there as well. All right, now as soon as we hook up the iron, we will start making gears. In this case, I'm just going to use a regular takeout or a regular extractor. Okay, we'll need another one here, but here I'm going to grab from the belt below, like this, just so that we're not pulling all the material off of the same belt in both cases. All right, and then we'll extend this. Now after this, because I'm going to be taking a pretty significant quantity of iron off of the bus, let me craft some more of these. I'm going to go ahead and put another one of the 4-lane balancers to rebalance the output here. All right, and it looks like we need to extend our path a bit. Okay, so now we're making gears. Perfect. Now the next thing I want to do is start to produce belts. Now if we look at the belt recipes, you can see that the regular belts need plates and gears. We already have that. The undergrounds need plates plus those transport belts. And then the splitters need transport belts, plates, and electronic circuits. Now, since the underground and the splitters both require belts, it would be a good idea for us to put the belts in the center so that those can be passed to either side. All right, so that'll be yellow belt. We can put the splitters really on either side. I think I'll put them on this side. And then we'll put the undergrounds over here on the right. All right, so let's extend these belts up. All right, and we're gonna need a few more chests. I'm just gonna make wooden chests in this case. All right, to put the outputs. Okay, so let's start with the yellow belts. All right, so put a chest above each one. That's where our outputs are going to go. Now, we can limit how many come out. So in the case of the belts, I think I'm going to limit that to 4 stacks. Whoops. Again, just so we don't make thousands and thousands of belts. And then for the undergrounds and the splitters, I'm going to limit those to 2 stacks. All right, now let's get some power. Now if I put my poles here, actually I think I might need to redistribute my power poles. Yeah, let's just do them like this. There we go. The power is somewhat tricky. Sometimes I struggle with where to put the power poles and get everything covered, but this looks fine. Okay, so then we use our blue inserters, and I'm going to put one on each side on the bottom, again, so that we pull gears evenly from both lanes. And then obviously we need to get some iron plate over here. And we can do that by placing another splitter and bringing this belt over here. And again, I'll do this on the other side as well, just so we pull evenly from both sides. We're going to need these iron plates for the undergrounds as well anyway. Okay, so now we are making belts at a high rate of speed, which is good. Now, how do we get belts over here? Well, to do that, we're going to place some undergrounds, and there are 2 ways we could do this. One would be to use a long inserter, like that. The other way to do it would be to use a chest here with 2 small inserters. But I prefer to do this with the long inserter, and the reason for that is that I don't build up inventory of belts in more than one location. So here I'm going to be accumulating belts in a chest. If I have chests here and here, then that's just going to be more belts that are sitting around, and I'd rather keep my resources available for other things. Okay, so here we are just missing the iron plates, and here we're missing plates, and we also need some circuits. Now, do I really need this? Yes, I do. Okay. Actually, bear with me one sec. I'm going to check on these power poles. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Mining Productivity 2 just finished, so we're going to do level 3. I was just looking at a blueprint that I sometimes use for this area, and this is actually pretty much how we do the power poles. So I thought there was a more efficient way to lay them out, but there's not. Okay, and to be honest, if this was a game that I was just playing privately, I would probably just use a blueprint for this. There are several good ones that you can find online, but I wanted to show you how to put this together yourself so that you can do that in the future, because you might want to make something like this that's a little bit different than what you normally see in the blueprints. Okay, so we need to bring circuits up here, so I'm going to do that now, and I'll bring the green circuits up right here. Now, when we have red circuits, we're eventually going to modify this so that we have green circuits and red circuits sharing this belt. But for now, it's only green. But that's why I'm leaving this space here, so that later I can come in and I can side load the two types of circuits there. All right, so let's put a splitter there. We'll put another one there to rebalance. All right. And then we'll bring up our circuits. And then in this case, we only need circuits for the undergrounds. So actually what we could do here is just put a long inserter and pull it directly off the belt. There's no reason to bring this belt of circuits through here, since this is the only machine that's going to be using it. And we need 5 for each one. So why don't we place another one there just to speed things up a bit. Okay, so now we're making belts. I'm going to go ahead and control click to grab some more. I've already got, no, I guess I need more belts too. There we go. All right, now we can also see that I'm starting to accumulate quite a lot of junk here. I don't need too many stone furnaces right now. I have a lot of wood that I don't want to use, and I also have these small electric poles. Yeah, the iron pickaxe I got rid of. Now what we can do, before I go forward, what we can do with all the extra wood that we're picking up, and even the small electric poles, we can use those for fuel. So what we'll do is I'm going to put them right here on the smelting line. So what I'll do is I'll put a box, I'll place an inserter there, and then we can throw all the wood in. And then it'll just add wood to this belt. The splitter will incorporate it into both sides. So this will get passed up the line. And that's a way that we can make use of, excess wood if we don't need it. And then in the future also we'll probably just start destroying trees rather than picking them up. You can do that pretty easily with grenades. I don't know if I have grenades researched yet. Yeah, I do. We'll have to start making those soon. Okay. So now that we have the yellow components, we're going to set up the same thing, but this is going to make the red belts. And these are going to go in the same order. And you can see that for the red belts, we require gears and yellow belts. Gears and yellow undergrounds, gears, yellow splitters, and more circuits. All right. So actually in this case, maybe it would be a good idea to bring in a line with a splitter. Let me move this power pole. I'll put it here. We'll use an underground there to continue the iron. Okay, and then we're going to put an inserter from these chests into the machine above it. All right. And then obviously put the gears. Now, one thing I'm going to do here that I think is important, put a couple lights. For the belts, I put the inserter for the red belts below the inserters for the undergrounds and the splitters. Because as we progress, we may end up starving these belts of gears. And I want to make sure that I make belts before I make the undergrounds and the splitters, just because I use them more often. So just by changing the position there, you can prioritize the order that these things get created in. All right, and then I'm going to set these up with the same limits on the chests. So I've got this chest already set up with a stack of 4. If I want this one to have a stack of 4, I can copy that. So if I shift right click on that chest and then shift left click on this one, you can see that that'll copy those limits over. So that's a quick and easy way to do that. And I'll set these up with the same limits. I'll go ahead and put the power poles in the same position on this side. That should keep me covered. All right, and then we just extend these lines up. Okay, and now we're making red belts. And from here on out, I'm going to be using red belts in most cases. I'll still use yellow belts, you know, in those instances where we don't need a lot of speed. But now that we have red belts available, we'll start upgrading our bus and the smelting lines and everything to use red belts. But we'll let that build up for a while. Okay, now let me start crafting some more assembly machines. Need to grab some more iron. So we can see now that we're starting to run low on iron. And that's a signal that we need to add some more smelting lines and some more mining. Let me get some more of these assembly machines made. All right, and speaking of mining, I didn't show you what I did in between episodes. I did add more mining drills to our resource patches. Okay, so I've got this whole thing covered. I've got this whole thing covered for copper. We have a full line of power. I think that was the same as the last time. All the coal is covered. All the stone is covered. I did upgrade to steel furnaces, and I added another line of copper. Right, this is all upgraded to steel furnaces, and this is all upgraded to steel furnaces. Now with the upgrade to steel furnaces, we're actually not making enough ore to keep this running at full speed. And you can see that with steel furnaces on a yellow belt, you only need half as many furnaces to fill the belt. You can tell that the rest of this is not really being used because the output belt is too full for these to get placed. We'll fix that up in a little while. Okay, so for now, I'm going to put 3 ghosts here. These are going to be for making blue belts later in the game, if we choose to do so. So I'm just going to leave a space for that. I don't plan to use blue belts in this playthrough unless it becomes absolutely necessary. I don't think it will be, but I could be wrong. Alright, so after we get our belts, the next thing that I want to make are the inserters. Alright, so let's again leave a space of 3 and plop down some more. Now the main ones that I want are the yellow, red, and blue inserters. And similar to the belts, you can see that the red inserters need yellows, the blue inserters need yellows, right? And we also have filter inserters that need blues. and the blues need circuits. So that means it would make a lot of sense for us to put yellow inserters here in the middle, put blue inserters on this side, and put red inserters on this side, and then we can pass the inserters from side to side in much the same way that we did with the yellow belts down here. Okay, now we're running really low on iron, and that is slowing us down because we're not getting gears. You can see that the red belts use a lot of gears, and when you start making blue belts, the consumption of gears gets to be pretty ridiculous. That's why we have so many gear machines. This set of gear machines will keep these yellow belts full as long as they're getting enough iron, which right now they're not. All right, so we'll need to add more iron as soon as we can. All right, so let's get this set up. Gears, plates, and circuits. Okay, so in this case, I think what I'll do is we'll run the plates across this way. That needs plates too, so we'll do that that same sort of mirrored setup that we did with the belts, like that, and gears. All right, let's get some power. Yeah, I really want... Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna repeat the same pattern of power poles up and down the line. How did I do this? Okay, this goes here, and that goes there. All right, and we need a couple more lights, so I'll throw some lights in there. All right, and then we need circuits up here. So let's get circuits brought over. Oh, excuse me. There. Now I want to move there. Okay. And then in this case, we need an underground so that we can put our output chest. And then that goes under like that. Oh, I put this in the wrong place. There we go. That's better. All right. Gears, plates. Okay, so we're just not getting any gears up there. That situation will correct itself once this chest gets full. You know what, for now, let's just limit this to 200. That way the production will stop. And we'll start to get some more gears heading up the line. It's going to take a little while. In the meantime, research finished, so we can go ahead and pick the next one. I'm going to take tool belt next. That'll give us another slot on our inventory. Okay, so we're just going to have to wait for these belts to get made and more gears to head up the line. And then we're going to add more smelting, of course. Okay, but in the meantime, we'll finish getting this set up. Now this just needs gears and plates in addition to the yellow inserters. So again here, I'm going to put the inserter for the gears above the inserter for the gears for the yellow so that this one has priority. Grab plates and then output. Now in output, I'm going to limit the reds. Actually, I'm going to limit all these to one stack. No, we'll do 2 stacks on the blues and yellows. I think 1 stack on the reds will be sufficient. Okay, now in this case we need plates and circuits. Let's make some more. Oh, and we need an output there. All right, so now we've got inserters, we've got belts, and then we'll continue on with this to get mining drills, assembly machines, and some of the other things that we need. I will set that up in between episodes. I think now that I've shown you this, you should be pretty well equipped to continue in this manner on your own. We'll also be bringing in a shared line of steel and copper, probably up this other side, so that we can make power poles automatically. I'll get the rest of this set up and then I'll just show it to you at the beginning of the next episode, rather than going step by step through the whole build. I think you know what to do in the meantime. Now, the other homework is going to be to set up more. Okay, let's do circuit network. That comes in handy. Okay, so the homework is going to be to set up more iron smelting. I would say at this point, now that we've got red belts, we should just go ahead and set up 3 more lines. However, these mining drills are not enough to run that many smelting lines. So the other thing that we ought to do is get some more iron ore patches involved, right? So we've got a few more that are close by that we can tap into. So that's the homework for next time, is to set up the rest of this, make everything area, and to get more iron smelting at least. I think we're okay on copper for now, but we're definitely starving for iron, as you can see here. And the next science packs that we start to make are going to need a lot of iron as well. So that's a high priority. We'll get on that the next time. Thanks a lot for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.